Grievers and Groovers. How's it going? It is Wednesday, May 30th, and happy to be here on a very sort of cloudy, weird, slightly cool day here in Los Angeles. Just want to give people a little bit of time to tune in. Um, yeah, first of all, I just want to say hey to anyone who's joining me for the first time because there was a huge piece in NPR on Saturday, the weekend edition. National Public Radio, for anybody who's outside of the country watching this, it's just a national radio station and called NPR. And they did a piece. They came to cover one of my Good to Go parties. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Amy. How's it going? So just wanted to welcome. Oh, let me know if you guys can see and hear me okay. I hope there's no technical difficulties. I hope I'm not a pixelated green monster. So throw some likes up there if you can see me and hear me okay. Yeah, so just what a crazy weekend it's been since the NPR piece came out. It was supposed to run a week earlier and then it got bumped and then, oh, good. Dawn says I'm good. Okay, cool. Yeah, it was supposed to run last weekend and then it didn't. And then I kind of knew it was, or was hoping it was going to, air this weekend, but I thought it was going to be Sunday. So I woke up on Saturday and picked up my phone and just like ate kajillion emails and texts and it was great, but a little overwhelming, but it's all good. And yeah, just lots of really beautiful feedback from people and a lot of people emailing to share their stories about how, they were left in the shit because their loved one didn't do any kind of advanced planning. I mean, just email after email telling me just horror stories about all the stuff that went down. And, the good news is, I live across from a parking garage. We hear that a lot. I don't know if you guys heard that, but anyway, just peeling out, squealing of tires, burning rubber, rebels. So yeah, it's just been really good and really heartening. It's just it's tough when you're running a biz all by yourselves, and especially kind of it coming out of grief. And it's just really lovely to know that Good to Go was able to connect with people through the NPR piece and inspire people to get their poop in a group. So that's amazing. So I'm really, really excited and so grateful about that. And a lot of people are ordering departure files, which is amazing. But due to UPS, and yes, name and shame, I had anticipated interest. So I have prepared. I, made extra departure files and got everything together because I am a ninja in organizing. It's the TV producer in me. And I ordered mailers, extra mailers. And they were supposed to arrive the week before and didn't. And I'm not going to bore you with all of the UPS back and forth, but let's just say I'm ready to take a hostage. And I went against my own hippie ideals today on the customer service lady who worked for UPS. But in my defense, I did apologize first. I said, look, I'm sorry ahead of time. I know that you personally have nothing to do with this, but let me tell you a few things. Yeah, they were supposed to deliver my mailers like 6 different times. I was home every single time. No yellow slip left, no nothing. So sadly, the departure files will be delayed. So if anyone is tuning in and they ordered departure files, they are going to go out tomorrow. As soon as I've been told that all my mailing envelopes will be arriving at noon, so they will all go out tomorrow. But one thing that's crazy to me is, and I just wanted to share it with y'all and see if you guys have any cosmic coincidences. So over the weekend, Memorial Day weekend, is my dead dad anniversary. It was 2 years ago over the weekend that he passed away. And or some we started calling it our dad's cosmic birthday. It was dad's second cosmic birthday. And on the first anniversary of his passing, which was last Memorial Day weekend, this came out. The Real Simple article that I wrote inside about the importance of advanced planning. And then on the second anniversary of his death, his second cosmic birthday, the NPR piece went out. I mean, it's kind of fun. And then this is so crazy. On the cover are all these like colored t-shirts. When my dad died, he had a closet full of colored t-shirts, just exactly like this. I folded them up, so just little things like that. Now, realistically, do I think that the editors of Real Simple magazine were like, you know what? Amy's dad wore a lot of t-shirts from a lot of different colors. Let's put that on the cover. No, of course not. It's ridiculous. But cosmically, it's bringing my attention to it. And I always say, I know, here's your sign. I know, right, Dawn? I love you guys. You guys understand. You guys get me. So that's been like a really beautiful thing, but it was the second anniversary, and I always talk to you guys about all the positive things that you guys can do, for deathversaries or whatever. I didn't listen to anything. I didn't listen to any of my own advice. I woke up and I just felt super sad. Had a good cry. I invited one of my really good friends over. She's English, and she's in town, and she's staying literally walking distance from my place. So I said, hey, why don't you come over and I'll make us breakfast? So just made just a simple little breakfast, nothing fancy, just poached eggs on toast. And then we went for a lovely walk in nature. I didn't want to go for a walk. I wanted to just like lay on the couch and just be sad. But it was a beautiful day, unlike today. And just getting out of the house was good, and seeing nature and just paying attention to all the different flowers. And it instantly, made me feel a little bit better. Although after we did one lap around the park, my friend said, should we go another one? Should we walk up to there? And I'm just like, no, I'm going home. Like, that's enough. Baby steps. Oh, because I've got to get back into shape. I've got to get back going to yoga, which I'm starting to do. So then I just got home and I found myself, I want to know if you guys do this too. Yeah, I found myself getting mad at myself for feeling sad, even though I knew all the things to do to kind of make me feel more positive. And then I was just like, wait a minute, why am I, judging my grief? Why don't I just feel it? Why don't I just feel all the feelings and just feel it? And yeah, it's been 2 years, but it's still sad. And then, I don't know if you guys do this, but then my mind was going to the dark place of rethinking about, the last days, the final, time together, and the last conversations, and the last this and the last that, and it was dark. And the chaos of illness, being in the ICU and just not knowing what was going on, and trying to make everybody happy as the point person, and just, and then, trying to plan a life celebration, which if nobody's planned, it's, when you have to plan a life celebration or a funeral, it's basically like trying to plan a wedding with a week's notice, it's crazy. I know, Dawn says, I think I remember you telling me to handle Charles's death date any way I could. So did you take your own advice? No. I did not. I later did. It took me a while. I just got really sad and just was, weepy. And I even, went to my Spotify playlist, and I was playing my Grief 2016, which was cleansing, but also really sad too, because I just remember those heavy, heavy days listening to the same song over and over, All Things Must Pass. But then I just was like, you know what? I don't want to be sad all day. I just want to, love my dad and get today over with, kind of thing. So I just, it was a beautiful day. So the sun was coming in, And I'd been crying and stuff too, so I was tired, and I thought I'll just take a nap in the sun and I'll listen to music, because obviously music is my boyfriend. And so I listened to the BBC. They had a huge music festival last week. Instead of Glastonbury, it was called the BBC's Biggest Weekend, and it's like 6 hours of music. So I literally just went online, listened to that, and some of my favorite bands and some of my friends who were in bands were playing the festival, so I got to hear them, and it just instantly lifted me. I was like laying down in a sunbeam listening to my favorite music, and it just kind of got me back to the gratitude place. I felt a lot of gratitude when we were out for the walk and seeing everything, and then coming back, and then I was like, oh, and then I kind of snapped out of it. So ultimately I had a good I had an okay, yeah, a good death versary of my dad's death. So, and I, talked to a friend who knew him, and we were sharing stories and stuff. So, yeah, it was hard. I'm not gonna lie, it was hard. 2 years out, it's hard, and it's probably gonna be hard every year. I would love to know when it gets super duper easy, super easy breezy feeling. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I don't know. But I eventually took my advice. I eventually took my own advice. I blatantly ignored my own advice for a good few hours. But yeah, it's tough. But did you guys get to see, well, you could see the article that accompanied the NPR piece, which was basically the transcript of the radio piece. But did you hear the radio piece? It's crazy. 3 minutes. So much fun. We had such a good time at that party. And that's the thing. We always have so much fun at the parties. People think it might be depressing and weird, and it just never is. Everyone's, kind of all in, and we're there and we're talking about the hard stuff. And, sometimes there's a few tears here and there, but gosh, if you can't get emotional over the idea of leaving the earth, then, what can you do? Amy Bell says, I didn't hear it. Is there a link? Yes, there is a link. I posted it on the Good to Go Facebook page. And then if you follow me on Instagram, I put the link in the profile on Instagram. So if you go to @GoodToGoPeace on Instagram and click in the profile or bio, you got a link. And I had my death wine. I have this rest in peace wine that I serve, that I take to all the parties. And yeah, we just had a really good time. And again, as well as the NPR piece, it resonated. Everybody who came to the party, they were just like, I can't believe there's so much information that we need to know. And, how long did it take you to put it all together? I'm like, a year, a lifetime of experience, and then a year to actually put the booklet together. But anyway, it's just been a huge boost, and a confidence booster, and a business booster. And I'm so excited because I think I might be traveling a little bit more this year and kind of going city to city. Who knows? Maybe I've had a lot of interest from Portland, Oregon, so that would be really fun, and to go there and get peeps good to go. And Texas, I got a lot of peeps from Texas. So yeah, so I'm excited about the opportunities that the NPR piece is going to bring. So yeah, so things are good. I'm feeling positive. Hey, Lisa. Oh no, Amy says now I'm pixelated. I apologize. There's nothing I can do. I did want to talk about, the news is so depressing that death is a cheerier topic. Don't you think? Death is like way more fun to talk about than anything in the news or any kind of political stuff, because it's all just so dire. Dawn says I need to come to Columbus, Ohio. I actually had some interest from Dayton, my hometown. So I'll keep you posted. All the news announcements and updates are going to appear on the Facebook page, on the Good to Go Facebook page. And then we can see if there's interest. But yeah, I would love to. I'd love an excuse to come back to Ohio. Dawn, do you know Der Dutchman, that restaurant? It's that Amish restaurant outside of Columbus. It's so good. basically everything has mashed potatoes and gravy accompanying it, which is my favorite favy thing. Now this isn't going to be any good for you, Dawn, but the next Good to Go party is in Los Angeles next Wednesday, June 6th, 7 p.m., right here in the Rock Pad. You two could sit here in pixelated glory while we're getting you good to go. And you're going. And Logan, is it Logan? I can't remember where Der Dutchman is. Probably. Should I do it? Alexa, is Der Dutchman restaurant in Logan, Ohio?
I don't know that one, but I'm working on including more local businesses.
All right, never mind. Alexa doesn't know everything, you guys. I wish she did. She's getting sassy now. She's probably going to email some kind of weird deathy conversation that I've had to some random contact in my phone. Did you guys read that? That happened in the news, some kind of weird Alexa thing. Oh no, I keep mentioning her name and she keeps lighting up. Anyway, she's actually my musical slave. When I'm cooking, I ask her to set timers. I ask her to play different songs. And once I connected her to my Spotify, there's just no stopping us now. She's my boo. Oh no, Amy says, now mine is giving me restaurants in Logan, Ohio. We can't even mention her name. She's everywhere. She's so nosy. Alexa, what's advanced planning?
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Yeah, she's not sure. A lot of people aren't sure. That's why Good to Go exists, because I'm here to help you guys. What else is going on? I want to hear from you guys. How are you guys feeling? Where are you guys in your grief journey? What's the latest? What's happening? It's such a big thing. I had a good friend experience a loss in the last week, and we were texting back and forth, and it's just, such a hard thing to go through. And she was talking about how she doesn't, know quite what to say to the inner circle who were immediately affected by the loss. And, it's one of those things. What can you say? You just gotta feel it. And you can even say, I don't know what to say. I'm just so sorry that this has happened. It's just being with someone. Amy says that hers is telling her about planning. Oh, come on. We need to somehow program our devices to maybe go to the Good to Go website or something. I don't know. But yeah, so anyway, so a friend is just experiencing this loss, and it's kind of a big one. And it was so sweet of her while we were emailing. Ton says, I did make a trip to Missouri and got to spread Charles' ashes where I lived at one time. Did you do them all at once? And then how did you decide, Dawn, where to sprinkle Charles's ashes? Had he specified? I can't remember. But yeah, that's kind of a fun thing. You've got like your loved one in a box, or in my case with my dad, I had him in a Rubbermaid cereal container that I bought at the 99-cent store. And, you go to sprinkle the ashes and you're kind of looking around and you're like, I don't want to freak people out, or, some people think it's creepy. I don't want to be creepy to people, but I want to do this thing, especially if it's in like a public place. It can definitely be #awkward. But I did hear when I went to the Grand Canyon a couple years ago that it's legal to just go and sprinkle your ashes, or sprinkle someone's ashes. It would be hard to sprinkle your own ashes. But yeah, that you can do that in the Grand Canyon, and it's legal. It's not legal in a lot of places, but people do it anyway. A friend of mine was just in a very lovely tropical location and sprinkled some of her brother's ashes there. So, that was really lovely. And she took a beautiful picture of the water. And she said, you're supposed to kind of do it so many feet away from shore, but there was nobody on the beach. So she just did it. And the picture was just gorgeous. Dawn said just a few, right? He said to scatter them at a beach. Oh, nice. I live near North River in the Ozarks, so I had a small vial that I took. Okay, so that's a little more conspicuous, or, a little less conspicuous, and you can kind of just do your thing and have a quiet moment. And, you know, when I was sprinkling my dad's ashes, I was thinking, do I say some kind of epic poem, or, you know, or are you just like, here you go, boom, you know? Um, so I just kind of thought, well, shit, I don't know what to say, or you know, how to do it. I did know from seeing in TV shows to sort of stand downwind instead of, you know, or away from the wind, so it doesn't all fly back into your face. But Dawn says it was beautiful. Good. I'm so glad. And you know that he was with you when you did that. You know, because you wouldn't have gone there to do it if it wasn't, you know, you guys' thing. But I just, you know, with my dad, I was with my mom's best friend, and I had waited, I think, let's see, it's to 2016. So I'd waited 4 years to sprinkle my mom's ashes, because I wanted to sprinkle some of her ashes in Florida, which was her favorite place. And I just didn't get around to going down there in the subsequent 4 years of when she died, because I had been so, you know, busy with all the death duties. And hi, Bob. Hi, Dawn. We're talking about sprinkling people's ashes. Woo! So much fun. No, it is fun. Just sharing and hearing other people's stories. So yeah, so I was sprinkling my mom's ashes in Florida, not having any idea that my dad would be dead a week later and that I would end up sprinkling his ashes. But that's the thing too. It's just like, you know, I advise people in the Good to Go parties, if you, you know, write out your wishes and things like that, to also make a note on the notes of all the cremation details that there's no time limit, because people feel a lot of pressure once someone dies and they're cremated and they want their ashes sprinkled. I think the survivors, or the, you know, the loved ones, feel a lot of pressure to hurry and, you know, go travel to Egypt and, you know, sprinkle the ashes near the pyramids. But, you know, not everybody's a billionaire and they don't have the money. So it took me a while to also kind of face it too, you know, because you are kind of letting go, you know. But I mean, shit, that's what grief is. It's just a constant letting go process, down to, you know, I saved my dad's little toothpick holder that he's had forever, and it had his toothpicks. And I used the last toothpick the other night. I was just like, the last dad toothpick. God. Oh, Hakuna Matata. And again, it's just like another thing that you grieve that's no more. That's the last one, you know, and you could just, it can be endless. I mean, I kept all my dad's sandwich bags, you know, I got all the stuff from my mom's kitchen. I'm just like, this is the last tub of aluminum foil that my mom bought with her hands. And then I was like, and she put it she saw it at the Jewel grocery store, and she put it in her cart, and now I have it. And then I used the last sheet, and I'm like, oh, why? Just goofy stuff. Dawn says, funny but twisted, a piece of bone was in the vial and went straight to the bottom. Boom. And just sunk. But the ashes floated. It was such a Charles moment. Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's beautiful. It kind of makes patterns in the water, and yeah, it can be a beautiful thing, and emotional, but then also freeing as well. And I just know for a fact, I just know it in my bones, that my mom and dad would just love where their ashes are scattered. And I feel good knowing that I did right by them, you know, that I, you know, put them where they wanted to end up. And then I saved some for me. You know, I got mom in the corner of the kitchen and then dad in the other corner. So they hang with me in the kitchen. It's very discreet. I have these little built-in cabinets, and so I have stuff around it because I don't want people to get weirded out. But again, you know, in the Good to Go paperwork, if you have someone else's ashes in your possession, what you need to write down what someone else is going to do with those. So Dawn, say that you've got, you know, say something happens to you, and then they're going through your place and they find Charles's ashes. What do they do? So these are things that a lot of people don't think about, except Good to Go thinks about it. And I actually had to update my Good to Go stuff once, you know, I got dad's ashes. So I specified what I wanted done. And then I also wrote, there is no time limit on when you sprinkle my ashes. And also I wrote in my Good to Go booklet, you don't have to sprinkle them all in one place. Like if any of my friends want a little piece of Amy and want to make, a piece of jewelry or whatever out of me, or just want to sprinkle me in their garden so that they can, think of me whenever they're pottering around and, pruning the rose bushes or, picking the strawberries, then great, do it. So you can, write down all the little specific things. Hey, Meredith, going through that now, still carry your wallet with me. That's what got me over the weekend is, I was dusting a little bit and I came across Dad's wallet because I have it sitting out, or he called it his billfold. And he had the same billfold since I think 1971, and it was in pretty good shape. It was just stapled, just had a little staple in it. But yeah, it's just those little things that remind us of our peeps. It's tough. But we get through it, don't we? I mean, Jesus, it's kind of amazing. I feel like we're all friggin' spiritual warriors for getting through loss, Hi, Candace. Candace is a really good friend of my mom's and a good friend of mine. We were just talking, I was just telling them about going to Florida and sprinkling Mom's ashes, but talk about cosmic coincidences. We sprinkled Mom's ashes at this beach, and I wanted to make sure that I remembered where it was. So if I ever wanted to come visit again, the place, I could. And so I took a picture of the street sign, and the street sign was something, the cross street to where the beach was, it was like El Reposo Lane or something. And it basically means to rest or to sleep. So I thought, that's kind of funny. And it was across the street from one of my mom's favorite ice cream shops too. So we sprinkled her ashes, and then I put some of it in the ocean. Or maybe it was the Gulf. I think it was the Gulf. And in the water, since I'm so geographically smart. And then we went and had ice cream. We ate our feelings and had ice cream. And I remember I got they had lemon ice cream that day, and that was one of my mom's favorite flavors. I know. It's good to see you, Candace. So we're just talking about, sprinkling ashes, cosmic coincidences. I would love to hear any of your cosmic coincidences. Actually, that'd be a really good topic for next week. Just all the little fun things that we know. We can feel it. We know it's a sign. Other people, might think, oh, that's just all in your mind, or you want that to be that way, so that's why you think of it. It's like, I don't know. I think it's a cosmic sign. Hey, Bob, do you see me? I'm wearing my Bread shirt. Bread the band from the 70s, not the carb, although I love both. I am definitely pro Bread in all forms. But I love the soft rock. Talk about cosmic coincidences. We've talked about this before because I love music so much, but I mean, so many times songs came on the radio, so many times. And one time in particular, and I will share this with you and then wrap it up. Wait, before I get to the cosmic coincidence that blew my mind, Dawn says, I'll take some of your ashes and throw you on Sting at his next concert, assuming you go before me and him. Promise. Okay, pinky promise, Dawn. I'm sure he would appreciate that. I feel that that's not legal. But in my mind, I mean, if the afterlife exists, it would be me and 1982 Sting, just hand in hand walking in the sunset while I'm having a hot flash. Okay, so the cosmic coincidence. So this was a year. I don't think it was even a year after my mom died, and I was hanging out with my friend Natalie, who was in town just over Saturday, and we went up to the Griffith Park Observatory. And we were, and the Griffith Park Observatory is a place in Los Angeles where you can look out over the valley and over Los Angeles. It's beautiful. You might have seen it in movies. It was in La La Land, although I've never seen that movie. But anyway, Rebel Without a Cause. And it just turned out that we were talking a lot about my mom and my grief and, the kind of cosmic coincidences. We got on the topic of Buddhist monks And because after my mom died, I was reading a lot of the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And so I was, telling her about Buddhist monks, and then literally all of a sudden a van pulled up. It was almost like a clown car, and like 15 Buddhist monks came out, and my friend Natalie, who, she's English, so she's not as woo woo as me. And also she hasn't had, her parents die, so she's not waiting for the mothership like I am. She just looked at me and she was like, okay, now that's weird, and I was just like, I feel like it's cosmic coincidence. So then we went out to eat the next, an hour or so later. And again, I was getting weepy because this was in the early days of grief, talking about mom again. And then all of a sudden I could hear in the background, it was a diner, a song from a 90s mixtape that I made in like 91. And then I heard another song from the mixtape. So like 8 songs that played, and these are obscure like B-side muso music people would know, like, okay, it could be a Pretender song, but it wasn't a hit. It was an old, it was a buried track or something like that. And so like 8 or 9 songs that were on my 90s mixtape were on in this diner back to back, so much so that I had to like ask the person, like, did you find my mixtape? And they were just like, oh, we don't program the music, it's just a thing, so that was just crazy town to me. And I always say, if it resonates with you, if you're like, that's weird, then it's spirit. I believe it. I could be wrong. I'm open to being wrong, but whatever floats your boat, whatever gets you through the night, it really brings me a lot of comfort thinking that they're around. But anyway, it was good to see you guys, and I want to welcome any newbies. I hope that technical difficulties weren't too much of a nightmare. I apologize for that. But I would love it if you guys could follow me on Instagram if you're not doing so already. And that's it. It's good to see you guys. Thanks for tuning in, Grievers and Groovers. If anybody's out there experiencing a loss and you're in the heavy, heavy, heavy days of grief, I am sending you a huge hug. And just know that even though it sucks and it hurts and you're in deep cosmic pain, I am here to tell you that you're going to get through it. And I feel ya. I'm so sorry for your loss, and you're just going to get through it. And there's so many great resources online. Look online. Talk to people, open up conversations. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm positive you guys have gone through this. You just happen to be honest in a moment of, mourning, and you're out in public somewhere like Walgreens, cashier is just like, how you doing today? And suddenly in a weird moment, you're just like, you know what? I'm horrible. My mom died and I'm really sad and I ran out of toilet paper and that's why I'm here right now. And these strangers, these beautiful strangers are just like, oh man, stay strong. I know what it's like. Hang in there. For the most part. Some of them back away slowly and just think, oh, okay, I don't know what to say. What? That's weird. I feel awkward, but I would say 9 times out of 10, I have had the most beautiful, beautiful experiences with strangers. If I, in a moment of just, what, I can't pretend that everything is peachy and that I'm having the greatest day in the world. I'm just going to be real, And I remember like literally hours after I learned that my mom died, I walked outside because my friend was coming and I had to get a parking pass to her. Parking in Los Angeles is a nightmare. And one of my neighbors, who I would just say hi to at the mailbox, I never really, we never hung out. And he said, oh, hey, Amy, how's it going? And I'm just like, oh, my mom just died and my friend's coming over and I don't even know what is going on. And he just came over to me and he gave me the biggest hug. And he's like, my mom died 3 years ago. It's so tough, but here's my phone number. And I know that we don't talk or anything, but I'm just upstairs. So if you need anything. And I just was so moved by that. So, so much time strangers can really, just be beautiful. And I think everybody is got that goodness in them, Anyway, hippie transgression here. We're going off track and I'm leaving. So I wanted to say Good to see you guys. I will see you next week. Spread good vibes. And yeah, next Wednesday, Grievers and Groovers. I would love to see you guys again. All right. Bye, Dawn. Bye, Dawn, Candace, and Bob, and Meredith, and Amy, and everybody. Woot, woot. Hearts to all of you. And I will talk to you soon. All right. Take care. Bye.